The Fear Factor. I don't know if any of you remember that show from a long time ago, where people were asked to do different activities or engage in certain types of stimuli that were based entirely on their fears. And the point was that if you happen to manage to overcome your fears, then you win a prize, that sort of thing. Fear is one of the ultimate ways that we are kept trapped in our current belief system about who and what we are, our place in the world, how the world around us works, because the beliefs that were drilled into our subconscious, like I've said before in previous videos, are survival mechanisms, and they want to be protected at all costs, at all costs. So fear is one of the best ways for negative beliefs to keep their place in our identity and thus in our experience of our reality. When a belief is held that if you do not believe this, then you will die, or then bad things will happen to you. Ultimately, it comes down to the concept of death, because the belief itself does not want to die. So it attaches itself to you as you, when it is just a series of thoughts that you've thought over and over and over, or a series of programs that you've either installed yourself, more likely that you inherited, and in order to protect its survival, it has to keep you in fear of changing your beliefs. Real, true beliefs that nourish you, that are designed, that are brought into your awareness and your experience to feed your soul, to feed your mind, to expand the possibilities of you, are beliefs that are flexible in nature. They are fluid in nature. They have room to expand and grow and incorporate new ideas and to internalize new ideas. And when that happens, the possibilities of you that you haven't yet recognized or remembered become reinforced as part of your reality. So our negative beliefs love to use this fear factor, and it uses it in a couple of different ways. First of all, like I said, if you do not keep me, you will die. And this is largely what happens to people who have come out of negative religious, maybe negative isn't the right word, have come out of a very strict religious upbringing where your eternal soul, the essence of who you are, you must obey, you must follow these beliefs, you must embrace these dogmas as truth, or you will die or suffer eternal punishment and damnation. The flip side of that is, if you believe, then you have this great reward that you will come into in your afterlife. And then that still is fear, because it is fear that if I don't retain this belief, if I don't reinforce this belief, if I don't look for this belief to be a part of my actual life experience and my existence, then not only will I potentially die or be damned, but I will not receive the reward that is promised if I continue this belief. Another way that negative beliefs use fear is the potentiality of them not being true. Beliefs like, I'm unlovable, I'm unworthy, I'm not capable, I am undeserving, and thus we reinforce that in the world around us, mostly about ourselves, but we see it everywhere because that's how beliefs work. Now, why would a belief that is negative, that wants you to keep it, want you to be afraid that it's not true? Or it's that if you hold on to that little tiny piece of hope that says, okay, this might not be true about me, but you're afraid to go out and experience the truth of who you are, the magic of who you are, the beauty of who you are, and the power of who you are. And if that is what you're looking for to experience, and this nagging doubt is, but what if it's wrong? What if you're wrong? What if I'm right? What if the negative is the truth? Then that little piece of hope that negative belief gives you gets crushed, and thus it uses fear to reinforce itself as truth. So you do not even take the chance to bet on yourself, to experience yourself, to truly know yourself, to heal from negative programming, to step out of old belief systems that do not serve you and do not serve the world, just in case they're true. So it gives you just enough hope to think maybe, but capped on that is more fear. So it's fear, hope, fear. And when that happens, it constricts our world. Negative beliefs are like tiny little boxes that actually, as we age, as we experience more life, they're constantly reinforced, because that is what we're looking for. That's the reticular activating system in our brain that constantly looks for what it's thinking about, or what it knows to be true, or what it believes to be true, and thus we stay trapped. But as our hearts expand and as our experiences expand, we get pushed and pushed and pushed. The belief system is holding us in, and we're trying to expand against it. And there's so much internal pressure, which causes pain, which causes hurt, which stirs up negative emotions that make the box a little bit tighter, that stirs up our traumas, that closes us in tighter, that causes that anxiety and that pain and that hurt to constantly be looking for triggers, because it is looking for escape, but instead it's just reinforced by our negative beliefs. So if you want to step into new belief systems that serve you, that benefit you, and benefit everyone in your life, because I can guarantee you the negative beliefs that you hold, the beliefs that make you small, the beliefs that make you not believe in yourself, are also hurting the people in your life experience, or they're keeping you from finding people in your life experience that you're looking for, that you think you want, like maybe in terms of a relationship or a lover or a partner or a successful business partner, or any of those things, when your negative beliefs are closing you in tighter and tighter and tighter, and that internal pressure to expand is causing that box to feel smaller and smaller. It causes pain that reinforces the belief. There is a way out, though. Remember that a belief that serves you is flexible. A belief that serves you is expandable. It, just like we are, it has potential for more always, and it is always reinforcing the potential for you to recognize more of your real, genuine, authentic self. So if you find your feelings and your beliefs are squeezing in around you and leaving you without hope, knowing that knowledge, having that knowledge, knowing yourself, ancient philosophy, know thyself. When you understand that, then it gives you the potential for light to come in, for those barriers to start breaking down, for you to be looking for reinforcements that are actually positive and supportive of you, and supportive of who and what you truly are, which is magnificence and greatness and darkness and shadow, all of those things that are part of the human experience. And we'll talk about shadows later, because shadows are a very interesting concept. We'll talk about that in another video. They're most likely not what you think. but embracing the idea that you can expand beyond your belief system that is keeping you trapped, that is keeping you in fear. And if you are feeling fear around your belief system, either the acceptance of it, that, like, I am a gay man who was raised in a Christian church, so thus the programming of I am condemned is was reinforced to me before I have any conscious memories. Or if you are afraid to look for something more within yourself for fear that you will not find it, those are very strong indications that you're living in a negative belief, and having that knowledge allows you to start making real, genuine choices so that you are not operating as a robot that's just functioning on its program and doing the same thing and thinking the same thing and acting the same way and being the same way over and over and over, at the cost of the authenticity and the beauty that's really you. So I encourage you today to examine your belief systems and see if they are fear-based and where the little tricks of fear might be coming in and keeping you trapped. Because when you become aware of that, that opens up a world of possibility for the real light, the real love, the genuineness of you and your power, and the power of the human spirit, and the power of the collective unconscious of mankind, which is also trapped in its own fear, but we start to free ourselves and we free other people. Now, if what you believe is giving you peace and giving you hope, that's a different story. But check closely, because that is another trick that negative belief systems often use, is the hope of escape of punishment, or the hope of the escape of death or damnation or condemnation, or the hope of, look at you, you are right, and thus everyone is wrong, and reinforces the negative ego to hold onto that tighter, because most of us would rather be right than happy. I'm sure you've heard that expression before. And most of us would rather be right than to feel and experience our true selves, because that's what we've been taught to do. We've been taught to be small when we are great. You know, there's that quote from Marianne Williamson. It's often attributed to Nelson Mandela. Our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our greatest fear is that we are great beyond measure. And our egos, although the words seem to think, oh, I'm all of that in a bag of chips, as the kids used to say. Uh, what that does, it is another control mechanism. Who are you to be great? Who are you to be amazing? Who are you to be fantastic? Who are you to be loved? Who are you to be loving? Who are you to change the lives of people around you simply by your essence of being there in the space with them? And that is what the ego tries to keep us from, because it tries to keep us separate and boxed. It is part of fear. It keeps us in this tight little box and doesn't let us experience not only our greatness, because when we experience that, it is inevitable that you will start to see the greatness and the potential and the power in other people around you, whether you agree with them or not on certain philosophies or principles or actions that they're doing. If you have inherent greatness in you, so does everybody else. And that is where mankind shifts. That is where we shift into our power. That is where we shift into the reality of what we are. And so I encourage you today to know thyself, know thy belief systems, and feel where the little tricks of fear that are keeping you trapped in this minimalist state of being come into play. And just that awareness is the beginning stages of starting to allow possibility. Sometimes we need help. I personally use a coach, because he helps me see past my blinders and, oh yeah, I never saw it that way, because your mind is treating you, has trained you to see things, everything in a certain light, in a certain way, and in a certain experience. So things like coaching, things like counseling, things like um, I'm going to say it, psychedelics and mind expanding chemicals. And that is something that I want to tell you a story about in probably my next video. Um, Mind expanding plant medicine, actually. And there are ways that we can get beyond the limitations that we have been trained and that we then reinforce within ourselves. And I encourage you to start taking a look at that. Step into your power, step into your greatness, step into the amazingness that you are, because it is why you are here. The discovery of the potential of yourself is why you are here. So I hope you find this information helpful. It's certainly a powerful tool to add to your toolkit. I thank you for taking the time to listen. And like always, I love you sincerely very much. And I hope your day is incredible. And I hope you discover something new about you. Love you. Bye-bye.